November 2025 feels unlike any moment the crypto market has experienced before. There is a sense of quiet pressure building beneath the surface, as if the familiar rhythm that shaped every previous cycle has been disturbed. Some people barely notice anything unusual, while others feel an uncomfortable shift they can't fully explain. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. This month is not just another checkpoint in a typical bull market. It marks a turning point that could permanently reshape how the entire ecosystem behaves. For nearly a decade, the crypto market seemed to follow a predictable timeline. Every 4 years, a halving event reduced Bitcoin's issuance. After that, the market would spend months accumulating before beginning a powerful upward climb. Roughly 18 months later, the frenzy peaked, and a harsh multi-year downturn followed. This rhythm created a sense of structure in an otherwise chaotic asset class. Investors, analysts, and creators relied on it like a compass. But something is different now. If the peak occurred on October 6th, then this current cycle has already lasted longer than any previous one. And instead of collapsing the way Bitcoin did in earlier tops, the price has simply drifted downward at a controlled pace. In past cycles, a top was followed quickly by sudden, deep losses. This time, the decline has been milder, almost hesitant. Many people argue this alone means the old cycle has already broken. Others think it's too early to conclude anything. What's clear is that the familiar timeline is slipping out of sync. The real question is what happens next. If the market recovers strongly from here, if it manages to regain its momentum and push to new highs in early 2026, it would be difficult to deny that the old 4-year structure no longer applies. It would mean the market has entered a new phase, one defined by different forces and different rhythms. Economic conditions, institutional participation, and new regulations have changed the environment so much that the traditional model may no longer fit. This possibility carries enormous implications. If the cycle truly breaks, then many assumptions built on top of it break as well. Forecasts based on past peaks would become unreliable. Expectations about how far Bitcoin should go would lose meaning. Predictions that rely on historical percentage crashes would no longer apply. The comforting idea that a massive bear market always arrives after a top would lose its foundation. And the equally comforting idea that a huge blow-off rally always precedes that bear market would also lose its reliability. In other words, if the framework collapses, the ceiling collapses too, in both directions. The limits disappear. The boundaries blur. The market enters a stretch of time where nothing can be confidently mapped. That uncertainty is uncomfortable, but it also creates new possibilities. To understand what might replace the old pattern, it helps to consider what has shifted beneath the surface. Markets driven mostly by retail investors tend to move emotionally, swinging between fear and euphoria. But over the past couple of years, the landscape has changed. Large institutions play a much bigger role now. Their behavior is slower, more measured, and often guided by scheduled decisions rather than impulsive reactions. Major regulatory changes have also shaped how money enters and exits the ecosystem. All of this means the market may not respond to halvings or previous cycle timelines in the same way it once did. When you study the broader movement over the past few years, a new pattern starts to appear. It isn't as dramatic or easy to summarize as the old 4-year cycle, but it has a rhythm of its own. Momentum builds for a significant period, followed by a sharp cooling off phase. Then the cycle repeats, Not because of retail emotion, but because of how larger players adjust their exposure at specific intervals. This isn't guaranteed to continue, but the behavior fits the environment we are in now. One where institutions' influence flows just as much as ordinary traders. From this viewpoint, the market stands at a fork in the road. One path leads to a familiar outcome, the cycle holds, and the delayed top is followed by a long decline. The other path leads to something new, a strong recovery that invalidates the old 18-month rhythm entirely. The market is sitting in the middle of these two possibilities, and neither direction is certain yet. This uncertainty raises an important practical question. How do you make decisions in a moment when the entire framework might be shifting? There's no perfect answer, but there is a simple way to think through it. A mentor once described a mental process that helps reduce emotional decision-making. He jokingly called it the crap-dodging principle, a name that probably doesn't do justice to how useful it actually is. But the idea behind it is straightforward. When faced with multiple uncertain outcomes, identify each scenario, identify your possible actions in each one, and choose the set of actions that avoids the worst possible outcomes across the board. It's not about predicting the future, it's about minimizing regret. So let's walk through that idea. First, outline the scenarios. In this moment, there are two major ones. Scenario A. The top is already in, the old cycle still holds, and the market heads into a long downturn. Scenario B. The cycle breaks and the market eventually moves toward new highs in 2026. Once you recognize those scenarios, you can think about your options within each one. In the first scenario, where the top is in, an investor typically has two main choices: sell or hold. Selling preserves capital but risks missing a future rally if the top was not real. Holding avoids the risk of selling prematurely but may require enduring a long period of waiting if the downturn is deep. Each choice carries a cost, and each cost is emotional in a different way. In the second scenario, where the cycle breaks and the rally continues later, the options shift slightly. Holding becomes more attractive because patience would be rewarded. Buying more becomes tempting, but that option carries new risks as well, especially for assets that may not recover as strongly as Bitcoin or Ethereum. If the market fails to continue upward, additional purchases could deepen the losses. When you lay out all the outcomes side by side, some options clearly lead to worse potential results than others. For many people, selling everything carries the highest potential regret. Aggressively buying more may also feel risky if the direction is unclear. What often stands out is the moderate middle path, holding through uncertainty. It avoids the worst pain in both scenarios, even if it isn't the most exciting choice. Of course, everyone's situation is different. Risk tolerance, portfolio composition, and personal goals vary widely, but thinking in terms of avoiding the worst-case outcomes rather than chasing the best-case ones can provide clarity in moments like this. November 2025 is significant because it forces these questions to the surface. The market is at a point where either direction is possible and neither path follows the old script. This month won't just determine whether the cycle continues or breaks. It will shape how investors think about crypto for years to come. Most people won't realize that until after the fact. By then, the decision will already be made. Whatever happens next, this moment marks the transition into a new era for crypto, whether that new era begins with a winter or with another surge. The best any investor can do is think clearly, avoid emotional decisions, and choose the path that makes the most sense for their own circumstances. Uncertainty doesn't have to be paralyzing. Sometimes it simply requires slowing down long enough to understand the landscape and act with intention rather than fear.